What is carpal tunnel syndrome? This is Dr. Carrazana. I'm gonna try to make it simple. Carpal tunnel syndrome is just inflammation, compression, pain, irritation, stress on the median nerve. Okay? The median nerve is one of the main nerves who actually feed the arm and the skin. Okay? So it's coming from the neck, the cervical spine. All right? So carpal tunnel syndrome is when the nerve go into your hand through this tunnel here, and then it may be compression for many reasons. One of the reasons is the soft tissue. I'm talking about muscles, ligament, and tendons. Even the tendon could be inflamed, and then it's a tendonitis. A tendonitis can be confused, okay, and overlap the symptoms of carpal tunnel syndrome. So the ligaments also could be having some issues. You got a big ligament here, the retinaculum, and this is the flexor retinaculum, and you have also an extensor retinaculum. So if that retinaculum get fibrosis because injuries from before, sports, work, any other situation, it could narrow the space and then compress also the median nerve. Okay, so ligament issue could be inflammation of the tendon, tendonitis. It also could be tension in the muscle, because what I mentioned before, work. If somebody's a mechanic and uses a screwdriver all the time, a carpenter, a dentist, then definitely this could create a massage therapist, even a chiropractor using the hands too much could get that inflammation, that tension on the muscle could actually narrow the space and irritate, stress the nerve, and then you feel that symptom of numbness and tingling on the hands. And that's pretty much what is so uncomfortable. People suffering numbness and tingling all the time, and they don't even know what to do. Okay. Then second thing could be fractures or bone issues. So you got fracture from before, like I did fracture this my little finger. But I know many people who practice sports, any of the currency sports, like running motorcycles, and sorry to call it currency, but something that is really challenging, and they have a lot of fall, perhaps, martial arts, all this sport that you have, contact sports, it may fracture the hands, or just an accident, a car accident, a motor vehicle accident. Then you fracture your carpal bones or your bones, then it change the anatomy, it change the kinesiology of your hands, and that may irritate the nerve by, compressing or narrowing the canal or the tunnel. Then the median nerve will suffer. Okay. The third thing will be pathologies or systemic disorders. I'm talking about rheumatoid arthritis. I'm talking about diabetes. People with diabetes, they have constant inflammation. They have neuropathy, and all the symptoms that definitely could create carpal tunnel syndrome. All right. Then hypothyroidism also is another one. All right. So anyone who got any of these situations may suffer from carpal tunnel. Also, pregnant women, because they retain water. Okay, if somebody's that athletic, if somebody's gaining weight, and even if someone who is obese may suffer from carpal tunnel syndrome, is because the water retention. Okay, then here we go. Now the important part. Okay, we talk about that. We're going to clear that out of the way. It may be carpal tunnel, it may not. Okay, because why? Because you have a muscle here. Okay. I'm going to show you with my arm, forearm. You got a muscle here, potato teres. Okay, potato teres can get in a spasm, and there can be compression of the median nerve right here. All right, it could be compression of the median nerve right here on the pectoralis minor and the coracoid process. It could be compression on the nerve right here on the clavicle, on the clavicles, on the first rib. Okay, it could be a compression of the nerve do a cervical rib. Okay, you got a cervical rib, meaning that you have in the spine, this is the spine, cervical spine, this is the bone here, the vertebra. So supposed to be number 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Number 7, the TP, the transverse process, they are bigger in some people. Okay, I believe that between the 8 to 10% of the population may have cervical ribs. And then when you move the cervical, when you move the neck, you rotate the cervical, it may decrease the space, okay, for the median nerve and the subclavian artery, okay? Then also the scalene muscle. You got 3 muscles in the front of your neck, You also have the SCM, but the scalene muscle, the anterior scalene muscle, could compress actually the median nerve also and the subclavian artery. So all this situation could happen. Okay, so it's about 5 or 6 different things. So it's difficult to just say, or diagnose carpal tunnel syndrome. You really have to find a doctor who understands the neuromuscular system well. Okay, I believe that every doctor is very good in what they do. We are very good, and I'm very good in what I do, because I try to study every day to understand the neuromuscular system and try to help people to alleviate the suffering and this pain and the discomfort. How? As a chiropractor, do I know is this carpal tunnel or something else? Okay, so I'm going to teach you a test. It's not the only one, but they may help you at home. Okay, if you think that you have carpal tunnel because you got tingling on the hands at nighttime, you're getting up in the morning and you got that, this is something you can do. You're going to put your hand like this. Okay, you keep breathing normally. You're going to put your hand like this. You're going to wait 1 minute. You may not feel symptom here, but this test, the second one, is going to be a little more powerful. Okay, elbows have to be up. The elbow like this doesn't work. Elbow has to be up, and then you stay here for 1 minute. Okay, breathing normally. If you feel tingling and numbness in any of these tests, you may have carpal tunnel syndrome. Second thing that you can do, you can tap this area of your hands, on top of the ligament like this. Okay, and then you feel some type of shooting pain down here, numbness, tingling. Perhaps you do have carpal tunnel syndrome. But if you do this test and they're not positive, you don't have any symptom, you have to reconsider that and talk to your doctor. Okay, then the other thing that we have to do, another test that you could do, is just do this. Just put your hand like this, 90 degrees, and then 1 minute. Okay, keep breathing normally. 1 minute, 1 minute, 1 minute. If you start to develop numbness and tingling, then maybe we have something more the carpal tunnel syndrome. Okay, then as a chiropractor, I would do x-rays, I would do orthopedic tests, 2 different types of tests. I would do a neurological test, all right, to muscle test to see if you got weakness, if you have compression on your cervical spine. Maybe the nerve is already damaged, and then it's damaging the motor nerve, the motor brain of the nerve, and you have numbness and tingling. Already know where the sensation is, where the side of the arm is, the dermatomes, to find out where the issue is. Okay, then I do that range of motion for sure, testing every joint to be more specific and try to get my diagnosis clear. Okay, and then when I get my diagnosis clear, I move up to the treatment. Chiropractor, we adjust the spine. I definitely know, and I believe, and I know for sure, then if you got some misalignment on the spine, your nerve is going to be compressed and the nerve is going to be suffering, and the tissue is going to be stressed. And then if the tissue is stressed, you're going to feel symptom, and you feel symptom, your health may suffer for this situation. As long as you have that pressure, that pinching on the nerve, more difficult it's going to be to fix it. More symptoms you're going to have, more you're going to suffer. Okay, then we try to find if there is a bone misaligned, subluxated, inflamed, giving you trouble down there, and damaging the signal. The electrical signal is coming from the nerve to your life, which is your organ, your skin, your muscle, your body. Okay, then we work on that, we fix that. Okay, we fix it, and then we go into a stretching. Stretching is great. Okay, if you got carpal tunnel, this is one stretch that you can do. You also can put your hand like this, or you can put it reverse on the wall, and that will stretch. I'm going to show you many more in a different video. Okay, so stretching is great. Okay, when we do a stretch, then we move on into the modalities, physio modalities, using cold laser, using ultrasound, using infrared, for the blood, for the muscles to go through, using ice. Powerful for me, I like it. Again, I say in other videos, and it tends to be controversial. What is not controversial? Everything is controversial. I believe in the ice calm down the nerve, decrease the temperature, and then also have anti-inflammatory property. So ice, and then later, like I say, ultrasound too, and then later on, then we add some exercises to it. Okay, nutrition. Number one, diet. Diet has to, the inflammatory diet has to go. You gotta go. You gotta throw it out. Okay. You have to start eating better. Okay. Too much sugar, you gotta go. You know, no sugar. The sugar has to decrease. Get away from that soda. It's not good for you. You know, you have to drink water. So if you're eating too much salt, what is too much salt? If the food is too salty, you find that it's salty, then it's too much salt. You better get a better salt, maybe you know, a sea salt. It's a better salt than perhaps you know. But too much salt, you have to decrease it a little bit. And if you're eating too much white flour, like a lot of bread, then you have to decrease it also. Okay. And then as a nutrition, you're gonna include some vitamin C. You're gonna include some B complex vitamins, especially vitamin B6. Okay, but the complex, because they work together good. And then you're gonna add some zinc to it. If you can get some turmeric, you know, which is a herb, then it's really, you know, proof that it's very good anti-inflammatory, then you can get a good quality one, perhaps in Whole Foods. You live here in the US or Canada, and then you start using something like that. Again, I'm gonna make another video to teach you more about that inflammation diet, and then also how to get some good supplements to keep your body, you know, healthy. Okay. Then this is Dr. Carrazana. I don't want to make this video long. Hopefully you learn a little bit. If you got carpal tunnel, make sure that you get a second opinion, a third opinion, even a fourth opinion, because it may be thoracic outlet syndrome, compression of the nerve. It may be compression or syndrome, compression of the nerve here in the clavicle. It may be compression of the nerve here in the pectoralis minor. It may be a cervical wrist. It may be a tornado ferry, and it may be here in the tunnel. It could be a lot of the same. Find a doctor who knows what he's talking about. All right, so this is Dr. Carrazana, and again, with the technique that I use, you will never lose. You have a good day. Bye now.